Good morning, Jeff Johnson. Hey, thanks for tuning in, guys. Welcome to this morning's live stream here from the open mic. I'll be right with you, Jeff. If you could give me a message as to how the video and audio quality is. I've got quite a few fans running, so let me know if the fan noise is too much. And while we're waiting on the host to step in and have a conversation with you great supporters of the Open Mic PHALA Thailand YouTube channel, while we're waiting on that, let me see if I can get you a good angle of this timeline, okay, and that'll give you a little bit of time. Video and audio is good. Okay, thanks, Jeff. By looking at this timeline, that will give the viewers, we've currently got 18 in the house, that'll give you guys an idea of what I'm going to be talking about today, okay? So let me see if I can get a good angle on the timeline, and I'll let you guys digest that information. Now, the dates are not completely 100% accurate, guys. The months are spot on, but the days themselves may be a little bit off, okay? I just kind of rounded things up. So if you're on the big screen, that's going to be pretty easy for you to read. No, don't take it off. Nam Yin is here working, of course. See if I can get you a good shot on this, guys. Hello, happy-go-lucky. Hello, AZ, Tyron. Okay, guys, thanks, Tyron. I'll be right back, okay? I'm going to get situated with some coffee. Let me get that angle up just a little bit. So that should give you a pretty good brief summary here on the board as to what I'm going to talk to you guys about today, okay? So digest that information, look at those dates, and you can kind of see the history. Okay, guys, got my coffee. Now, I won't be able to follow the chat while I'm giving just kind of a summary breakdown here of the business adventure here at the Open Mic, okay? So I'm not really going to be following the chat until we get finished with this first little segment. I feel like it's important for me to explain to all of the great supporters. We've got people that have been following this YouTube channel since back when it was Teacher Thomas Thailand, and they saw every development of this business, from the rental to the building of the bar to, you know, the whole thing. So, and a lot of people watched the videos of the nightclub when it was in full operation. Had a lot of good times, a lot of great memories. There's a lot of great videos on the channel. There's a playlist called Live at the Open Mic Bar and Grill, right? So people can, those will be there forever. But let's discuss what's going on, and then I'll catch up with the chat, okay? Let me take a few minutes. I'm in. You busy? Baby? You busy? Come see. Good morning, Brazil. Hard-working lady right here, guys. How much salary do you get from Open Mic? No salary.
40,000 baht.
40,000 baht
Per month.
per month. They make you pay all the bills, is that right? Okay, baby. All right, guys, so if you had a chance to digest the information up here, kind of walk through it a little bit. You may be not able to read it right now with my big fat ass in your way, but that's why I want to give you guys a little time to look at it. So We do have a lot of new subscribers to the channel that don't know the full history of the investment that we made here when we opened up the Open Mic PHALA Nightclub. Okay, it was a nightclub, a karaoke bar, live music. That's the premise structure of the business. It's very much needed in our area because our bar is like a family style bar, and all of the international school teachers have no restrictions to come to a bar like we created, right? A nightclub is family friendly. It's a Thai bar first and foremost, but we're very much integrated with foreigners and Thai people. So we have people singing songs in Thai, in English, in Belgian, in French, right? It's just really good, kind of an international, regular nightclub like you find in your home country. No illegalities going on, no, you know what I mean? Just a lot of people have experience with nightclubs in Thailand only in red light zones. And they didn't even know that it's just regular, normal nightclubs. There are a lot of them. But in our area, it was very much needed. For example, all of the private international schools hire teachers that have degrees in education, okay? You can't go to work for one of those schools if you have a bachelor's degree, you know, in computer science, right? It doesn't work that way. You could get a job as an English second language teacher in a government school with any bachelor's degree. They don't require that you have a degree for actual teaching, K through 12, right? But the private international schools do require that. And there's a clause in their contract that they're not allowed to go to any red light districts in Thailand. In other words, those schools, right? So that's one example of the uniqueness here in Phala to have a family-style nightclub where all of those teachers have a place to go out, you know, Friday, Saturday night. So that's just one example of the style of business, the nightclub that we wanted to open. We knew there was a need for it, right? So that was the plan. The breakfast was just an add-on. Another thing that's really needed in our area is an early morning breakfast. And as far as throughout Thailand, authentic, homemade American breakfast is a very rare cuisine. But again, that was an add-on. So you could basically say that 95% of the business was a nightclub, 5% was to have a breakfast restaurant, right? So let me give you an example. When we were open at night, before we had the breakfast restaurant, we were pretty successful, especially for a new business. Now, of course, we had a lot of slow nights, but it was very typical on Friday and Saturday night that we could run 30, 40,000 baht for the check bins total, okay? So one good weekend like that a month pretty much paid the expenses to a large degree to operate the business, right? So when you add the breakfast on top of that, the breakfast profit margins are a lot lower than adult beverages, right? So when you add the breakfast profit, even though it's not large, we were very successful with the breakfast restaurant and still are. We have a lot of regular customers, but that's just an add-on. But if you've got those big weekends going at night and then you add in those breakfast proceeds, it's like the icing on top, right? So that was the purpose of adding the breakfast 7 to noon, right? And then close up shop, we're all open air, no air conditioning, hottest part of the day. Work a split shift, right? 7 to noon, close the breakfast down, come back at 5 p.m., get open for the nightclub 6 to midnight. Under normal rules, when we originally opened the nightclub, here in Phala, now every district in Thailand doesn't have the same law, okay? But here in Phala, the rule is last call for alcohol is at midnight. So your last sale, registered sale, is at midnight. But we would stay open until 2, and people would sing and dance, and, right? And we'd sell buckets of beer right at midnight, whatever, right? So that's normal operations of nightclubs in Thailand. We all know that completely changed, right? So there's been no normal operation, even in the blue zones that are allowed to sell alcohol, and they have their bars open, entertainment, whatever. They have to have a restaurant license. I believe the alcohol still gets canceled at 9 o'clock. In some areas, maybe not all, but most of the blue zones, you have to remove all the alcohol from the tables by 9 p.m., and you can still stay open till 11, right? So it's still not currently a, normal nightlife business operation, okay? So that's a summary of that. Let's go through this timeline just a little bit. So the first shutdown that Thailand had was March 26th. I'm pretty sure of that date because it just sticks out in everybody's mind. Now, March 26, 2020, Nami and I were living here. We just recently moved here in September 2019, so we were pretty new arrivals. We vacationed here a lot. We liked the area. I took a pause from teaching English for the Royal Thai Army, so we wanted to come down and rent a house at the beach town for a year and see if we liked it. Well, we did like it. Huh? So at this period of time, there was no business. Nandi and I had no, self-employment or anything like that. So when this happened, that was the first emergency decree. And everything closed. I mean, all the beaches, right? We didn't know what we were dealing with, right? You guys remember. It probably happened earlier in your country if you're in the West. But in Thailand, the first lockdown, I use the word shutdown here on the board just to try to be somewhat politically correct, but the first lockdown was March 26th, okay? And that was lifted somewhere around June 2020. So for that period of time, I couldn't travel home. You guys know how this was the global, worldwide pandemic, right? So after everything reopened in June, they lifted restrictions in a gradual manner. First they opened the beaches, then they allowed outdoor seating restaurants to open, right, through this period here, right? But then by June 1st, everything was reopened. All the bars, everything. There was no SHA plus, everything went back completely normal, okay? So what Ian and I decided to do after being bored and twiddling our thumbs for this big emergency decree, first time ever that any of us had lived through it, we decided to rent this property. We rented it on June 5th, 2020, okay? Low overhead. Now, one thing about when you rent a property to operate a business in Thailand, you can ask anyone, the property owners themselves don't do anything, right? If you want upgrades to the property, if you want to add some gravel, if you want to do some painting, that's all on you. That's just the way it works in Thailand, guys. It's just the way it works. Now, if we had a roof leak or something like that, her building, she would take care of that. We did a lot of work, okay? It took us 2 months, pretty much, to create a bar. This building was empty, okay? There was nothing. Nothing in the kitchen, nothing out here, nowhere, right? So from June 5th, when we signed the rental contract for 1 year, we worked for 2 months. I lost about 30 pounds, right? I went and bought a bunch of power tools. I got the skills to build things, so, it's to me, okay, I didn't have any tools. We bought sanders and steel saws and, drills and all that. So we had our grand opening of the nightclub, August 29th, 2020. Boom, big party, right? We had a big barbecue buffet out in the beer garden. We gave all the food away for free, right? Grand opening party. We had about 82 people total, head count. Not maybe all at once, but throughout the night, that was the total head count. We kept track of that, okay? So that was great. And again, we had no restaurant. This is just a nightclub with 95% of the business, right? The first closure of the nightclub happened in mid-December. I don't know if this is the exact date, but somewhere in mid-December. Okay. Also during this time, we had a change of staff. We brought Nina and Noi on somewhere in November 2020. Okay. So when we got the first closure, we still had full-time staff, right? So that was December 15, 2020. No nightclub. All right. Now, when we opened the nightclub back here, we weren't naive and thought it was completely the end of the pandemic, right? So we knew there was risk involved. So this wasn't a giant surprise, but again, the big first lockdown was over. When we opened here, every bar in town was open. There was no restrictions, right? Dance, parties, sing, karaoke, you name it. So when this is our first shutdown of the business because we opened after we were post-pandemic startup, what we were. So December 15th, we were there, 2020, no nightclub. So what did I do? I scrambled around and created the breakfast menu. So we opened the breakfast December 25th, 2020 on Christmas Day. All right? So we got no nightclub, we've got staff, we opened the breakfast on Christmas Day, right? So that leads us to, and I know you probably can't see it all that well, but I'll give you one more close-up shot. We got to finally reopen our nightclub, okay? So after this first little wave, this forced closure by the government, after that first little wave in December, that only lasted like 2 months. You know, December, January, February, about the middle of the month, and this date is correct. February 18, 2021, we finally got to reopen the nightclub, okay? We were planning a big New Year's party, 2021, kind of a FU 2020, right, the year of the pandemic. We were really excited about a New Year's party. All that got canceled. But by mid-February, we got to reopen our nightclub. So this is the very first time since we opened in August of 2020. Now we're in February. This is the very first time we got both ends of the business going, the breakfast and the nightclub. Also, no restrictions on the nightclub at this reopen. There's no SHA clause. Last call at midnight, close at 2 a.m. Okay? Fully operational. So from February 18, 2021 to April 15, thereabouts. This is the Thai New Year called Songkran, mid-April every year. So from February 18 to Songkran, we were operating both ends of the business, and then boom, right after Songkran, what happened? Closure. This was, I guess you could say, the third wave, the Delta wave, right? So at that time, we had to close the nightclub, right? So all we had from after Songkran 2021 was breakfast only. That's from that month to current. That's all we had, right? No nightclub. So July 2021 through August 2021, about 6-week period here, when we were only operating the breakfast since April. In July, all of a sudden, we go to dark red zone, and there's no dine-in food. So now we only had a breakfast restaurant since April, and now it's takeaway and delivery only, which is not ideal for breakfast, right? So what did we do? Dark red zone, we started the food giveaways, right? And did some more takeaway and stuff like that. So that brings you basically to currently, you know. We're still, now that lasted 6 weeks, so obviously we have dine-in food, but we still have no nightclub, right? Since Songkran 2021. All right, that's a breakdown, guys. Let me catch up with the chat. Give you a little better angle because I know there's a lot of glare there. So here you go. First shutdown, right? Emergency decree issued. Rented the property after everything had opened. Everything was back to normal in Thailand. Okay, rented the property, had our grand opening, really successful, and then boom, the first closure was in mid-December. So, oh, sorry about that. That was perfect, wasn't it? Hang on a second, guys. I know I got power on this thing, but hang on a second. Come on, come back. There we go. All right. Boom. So you guys basically can tell this was our first closure, and then boom, we were so excited after we opened the breakfast restaurant. Maybe we do lost power. After the breakfast restaurant opened, we were able to reopen the nightclub in mid-February 2021 after canceling New Year's, right? So we had both ends of the business going. It only lasted 2 months, guys. We've only been in full operation 2 months, and then boom, closed the nightclub. So what we've done is continue on with the breakfast. Good morning, Noi. And I just charged this gimbal this morning. Maybe it wasn't getting a full charge or something. I don't know. Hang on a second. I'm going to spin back over here, catch up with the chat, guys, and then update you on the current strategy, okay? See what I can do here. See if it'll just sit there without any movement. All right, hang on a second. shit. There it goes again. Nina, can you get me to... Sorry, guys. See if I can just lock this. Sorry, guys. Aussie Thai Bangkok. Hey, buddy. I'm taking notes. Born in Boston, Jeff. Hey, buddy. Nina, say hello. Nina and Noi. DT, hello, hello. Oh, we got 51 watching. Thank you, guys. Appreciate it. Nam Yin, do I have a tripod to hold the phone? For holding the phone, the battery no good here. Do I have, remember that have 3 legs can put the phone on? Do we have? I took it home? Okay, no problem, no problem. We'll get set up over here. We're just gonna be stationary. Sue Rowan, Jeff Johnson. Hello, Nina and Noi. Everybody say hello to you.
Hello.
Look at the stage, guys.
What's his name?
There's 49 people watching.
Oh.
Yeah. Okay, guys, if I get set up over here stationary, I think we'll be all right. And I'll catch up with your chat. Can't believe the gimbal didn't have more charge on it than that, but I have been bringing you guys some footage, so yeah, it's not going to do it. But I can get some kind of a fixed position. Give me just a second, guys. I'm going to do the quick release. All right. Just so I can finish this stream off, and then we'll call it good, okay? See if I can, yeah, almost. There's a way I can do this in a permanent setting, I think. Get it fixed where I can just use this as a tripod. I said there was. Almost. All right. I know, guys, it sucks, right? Shit. I will make a stationary position here. Take me a minute. Give you guys a vertigo. Okay, you can kind of see stuff, and then I can read the chat, and we'll close this baby out, okay? All right. See if I can catch up with the chat, and then I'll let you guys know what the plan is here, now that you've got the history locked in. You do better than that, teacher. That's not bad. That's not bad. Okay. Sorry about all that movement around, guys. When you're live, not a hell of a lot you can do when you have tech issues. Oh, shit. I'm going to shut the gimbal down. It's giving me a yellow light, which is caution. You wouldn't think that would mean end of battery. Okay, you're a little bit of an angle, but I think it's setting stable enough at this moment where I can get in with the chatters. See who's in here. We got 51 people watching. Okay. I know it's even on a bad day, I should be able to get you a decent squared view of things, you would think, right? Okay, huh? There's a will, there's a way. All right. All right, guys, I'm not going to keep you much longer. Appreciate you tuning in. Let me back up on the chat here and see what's going on. Whoa, wow. Okay, I'm not going to be able to go through all that. A lot of chat in there. Okay, guys, I'm going to scroll down to the bottom. Tyron, I'm sure Triple D will be taken care of. Have no doubt, sir. Don't worry your pretty little head about that, Tyron. At least we can't see the toilet now. Well, yeah, I know there was a side shot of the toilet in the opening frame. That's the way it goes, right? Sue Rowan, wow, never had 50 on the chat. 52 now. Well, thanks a lot for tuning in, guys. It is, I created the thumbnail ahead of time yesterday. And look, you know, we've had staff meetings, my wife and I, all of us together. So there's no big surprises. We've made these decisions along the way. We've, had serious debate about what to do. And I think the last update I gave you guys, there's Greer Stevens. Join late. Does Triple D need to be taken care of? No, he's good, man. Triple D's wild and free. This is his home right here, so he'll be fine. I got some new Triple D videos coming your way soon. Don't worry. Okay, so happy go lucky. Thank you so much. Appreciate it, guys. Appreciate it. It was my intention to have a fully charged gimbal, so there's quite a bit of bad footage in this stream, but now we're setting good. Don Moret, what about Nina and Noi? Okay, good question, Don. Thank you. Any questions, guys, and I'll try to answer them. Nina has a Thai husband, and she only was ever available to work the breakfast. Noi. Did I say Nina? I'm talking Noi, the one that's in the frame right now. Little bitty Noi. Okay, so she's got a Thai husband, and she's, okay, Greer, I'll get to that in a second. She does, in the evenings, she has her own, like, little barbecue stand. So she was never available to work nights, okay? So, and, this is like the breakfast shift that she works 7 hours a day. It's like a supplemental income to what she already had, okay? So Noi will be fine. Nina is a lifelong resident of Ban Cham, okay? Nina's got a great permanent Thai boyfriend right now. He's former Royal Thai military, and him and her have quite a bit of entrepreneurial businesses going on. They have a water delivery business where they sell bottled water. Nina actually has a food truck, so she's works the food truck at nights because we haven't been open at night, right? So they both have other things going on that they can still generate some income. In addition to that, and thanks for the question, Don, we have paid Social Security insurance on both of our employees since they began, right? Now, don't ask me how it works because I don't know, but it's similar to like an unemployment benefit in America, but you have to be paying the Social Security insurance on the employees. In other words, you have to have registered employees and paying 700 baht per employee every month into the Social Security system, insurance system in Thailand, for them to be eligible to get benefits. Okay, so that they will be eligible for that. Now, how much? I don't know, right? So they've got that protection. So, see, what was Greer's question? So I hope that answers your question, Don. They're okay, and they're completely understanding. So Greer's question was, Triple T, are you closing the restaurant down? ? Oh my God. Well, Greer, that is the situation. I would not put a clickbait thumbnail up there. You guys know I don't do that. So, for those of you that don't know, many businesses in Thailand that have, say, a Farang investor, right? Let's just use the example of me and Yen. So you got a Farang guy married to a Thai, and he wants to open a little business for his wife. So let's say he opens a little coffee shop, / breakfast restaurant / lunch, right? And that's all they are, right? Maybe they're open 8 to 4, 8 to 5, right? Well, if it's something that his Thai wife knows how to do, and she can get 1 or 2 staff to work with her, he doesn't need to work there. There's no requirement to register a corporation to have a business in Thailand. You can simply go out and get your food and beverage license. That's like 3,000 baht a year for your licensing. That's it, guys. So, and most of those businesses never register and get a VAT ID. VAT in Thailand is your sales tax, right? That only applies if you want to register a corporation with the BBD in Thailand, right? So there's a lot of businesses, for example, that coffee restaurant, small business kind of thing. Maybe it's a little massage shop where there is a Thai investor, right? Or part owner, you might even say. But there was never any need to create a corporation. There was never any need to do all of the sales tax, all that stuff, pay Social Security on employees. Most businesses don't do any of that. In fact, when we first hired our accountant and we were setting up the VAT tax, the tax ID number, Nina was like, why are you doing this, right? Nobody does this, right? And then I explained to her, Nina, we have a registered corporation. I'm 47% shareholder. The only way I'm eligible to get a work permit as a general manager is that we have a tax ID number, okay? I have to claim that I'm making 50,000 baht salary, and I pay income tax on myself every month for 50,000 baht salary. That's the minimum requirement to get a work permit in Thailand, right? Now, I've had work permits in the past, but that was for schools, and I didn't have to do anything but basically provide copies of my stuff, right? That's it. So, but it's a big difference when you're a shareholder and you create a corporation. So basically, the reason I gave you that example of many Farong/Thai businesses that are able to operate without a corporation license. They don't have to register with BBD. They just get your local food and beverage license or whatever license you need locally. That's very cheap. And so basically, the monthly operating expense of the business is much, much lower if you do it that way. And you don't need to pay income tax. You don't need to worry about getting a work permit, right? So, as long as the Farong man or woman, whatever it is, the partner, the investor, is not caught working, in any fashion, then, you could sit and visit with customers. You can do all kinds of stuff, and you don't need to do what we did. I went the extra mile. I wanted everything to be above board. Number one, because I knew there was going to be a lot of training involved, right? In the American standard of service, customer service, right? So I had to be very active. And number two, I wanted to promote it. I wanted to be in the kitchen cooking. I wanted to, right? So for me, there was no other option. So basically what that does, it creates a big burden, right? We may be one of the only restaurants in our area that pay sales tax to the local government every month, okay? For example, there's a lot of them that don't, guys. Trust me, there's a lot of them that don't. So we did it completely legal and above board, and it was necessary if you're going to have a legal work permit as a general manager, right? So that's one thing to consider. But that doesn't mean that you can't open a similar business. Like say if Namyen and I wanted to open up a breakfast restaurant and a lunch little deal, right? Like we did. I could open that up with just Thai staff and never register the corporation and never have, all this big expense every month, right? And what I mean by that is our accountant and all of the Social Security insurance, sales tax, my income tax, all of that expense runs us about 15,000 baht a month, okay? All of that is unnecessary if you're not, wanting a work permit for a foreigner. If you're wanting a work permit for a foreigner, whether it's for yourself or you want to hire a foreigner, you've got to have 2 Thai employees. You got to have them on the books, paying their Social Security, right? That's a minimum requirement because I'm on a marriage visa. If you're on a business visa, then you need 4 Thai employees, right? So that just kind of gives you one example of a business expense that I was willing to incur, pay those taxes every month, pay that accounting every month. We took, at the end of the year, you pay 10,000 baht for a one-time annual audit, okay? So I paid all of that, right? And she has 12 months documentation of all that. And then I went and applied for another work permit, and I was able to get a 2-year work permit. But I had to have all of that history, right? All of the history of the taxes and all that stuff. So I do currently have a work permit till 2023. So getting down to brass tacks about Greer's question of closing the restaurant. What we're doing is a temporary close, guys. My accountant and I have had a meeting, and basically the way it works, she prepares one document, and it's just that. It's a temporary closure. So I'll sign that, Yen will sign that, she'll turn it into Bonchong City and the Tesabon here at Phala. And what that does is it immediately freezes all of those taxes, right? There's no taxes, there's no Social Security insurance on employees, and it gives notice that the employees have lost their employment due to this temporary shutdown. So that gives them the ability to immediately file for benefits from the government, okay? So that's the only decision we've made right now, is a 90-day closure. Now, the landowners of this building, who are incredible and have been very, very good people to rent from, right? When I approached them about, well, what if we just use your building as a storage unit for 90 days, right? Make it easy for a restart, right? But I don't blame them. They don't want to do that, right? They wanted us to continue to keep the business open because we've got such a great reputation here at the restaurant, right? And they were willing to give us 50% off the rent, that's great. You know, that's 5,000 baht a month savings. But that doesn't stop all of the other expenses, right? The salaries, the taxes that we just talked about with the accounting fees, the annual audits, right? All of that continues, okay? So to me and my wife, this is a mutual decision. It makes sense to go ahead and mothball for 90 days, even if this current property owner isn't willing to store stuff. We've got access to storage here that's very cheap. I've already got all of the sound system and everything from the stage. Already got that at the house, okay? So that's already, because that's an expensive system, okay? So you don't want to store that. You want that at home where there's no mice getting into it or anything, all right? So anyway, tables and chairs and all the refrigerators and, you know, restaurant or the kitchen equipment, all that stuff, it can easily be stored for, you know, guys, like 500-800 baht a month, all right? So basically, monthly business operation expenses, bare minimum. You're talking the salaries, the taxes and the accounting, the rent, the electric, the Wi-Fi, the water, all business expenses. 1,500 baht a month for police red box. They got a red box here, so that's for patrolling after hours. Everything combined is about 62,000 baht a month. So during this 90-day period, that 62,000 baht a month completely stops. Okay, that stops immediately, beginning April 1st. Okay? So April, May, June, we will be completely closed. So that 62,000 baht a month stops. Okay. Now, obviously, we get some of that 62,000 baht a month back from our breakfast customers and their Ganom Jin and from the restaurant, right? But not all, right? Not all. So there, you know, there's again maybe 5% of the business was to have a breakfast restaurant, right? So if somebody would have told me, you remember the board, the big date was April 2021 is when we got this shutdown. This one that we're currently on, that we're still have an alcohol ban. We have an entertainment license, okay, guys? So even though we're a restaurant, you can't hide behind that and open up your entertainment club and karaoke. It's illegal, okay? It's technically still illegal to play pool in an orange zone. So, you know, I mean, you can't operate in there. So opening up at night is not an option with these current restrictions. Okay, so going back to April, right after Songkran 2021, when we got the order to shut down the nightclub, if somebody would have told me at that time, hey, by the way, you won't be allowed to have a nightclub for another year, at least, right? We're 11 months into this current shutdown of 95% of our business, the nightclub. We're 11 months in, okay? So we've done well with the breakfast. We were defiant. Even when, you know, the chips were down, we were dark red zone, couldn't even serve food as a dine-in option. We gave food away, right? You guys remember, some of you contributed to that Do Something Great program. So, you know, we gave it our best. There's no fault of our own, no fault of our staff. We've had a lot of tremendous success here. But bottom line is, 95% of our business has been closed for 11 months. And Thailand has announced that they're going to move to an endemic phase maybe as soon as July, another 4 months from now. If somebody would have told me in 2021 that, you know, in April 2021, I probably wouldn't have continued the breakfast for 11 months, right? But it was like, if you guys remember how it works, when Thailand announces a shutdown, right, they always do like the 14 days. That's the announcement. So after Songkran, when our nightclub got shut down, ordered to be closed, it was 14 days. And of course I told Nina and Namyen, you know, hey, 14 days my ass, right? It's going to be, you know, at least a couple of months. But there was always that, well, maybe next month, right? And then there was a big target date that was set in November 2021 that January 16th, 2022 was going to be a, move on, live with it kind of thing, right? So, you keep holding on to hope. The only reason to keep the breakfast restaurant going is in hopes of getting 95% of the business back, right? So like I explained earlier, one weekend at the nightclub could pay the expenses for the month, damn near, right? I mean, it makes a huge difference, right? So that's basically where we're at. I just think it's a wise decision. So that answers your question, Greer. It's a temporary 90-day closure. Now, as far as the registration of the Open Mic PHALA Corporation, I don't have to do anything with that. We're not going to fold the corporation. I don't have to do anything with my work permit. Okay, there's one document, so legal document, that's available to us here in Thailand, temporary closure, and it just freezes all of those taxes and everything, right? So that's the wise decision. Now, if we could have just stored everything here and paid a little bit of storage, for the 3 months, we probably would have just kept everything here. But the landowner, wants the ability to show the place and possibly rent it to another person. So, but again, storage is real cheap, so it's neither here nor there. At the end of the 90 days will be what? The end of June, which means July will be right there, right? So instead of guessing whether it's going to move to an endemic phase and we'll be able to reopen and continue that 62,000 baht a month investment just for the breakfast restaurant, instead of doing that, we're saving 62,000 baht a month for 3 months. Add that up, that's like 186,000 baht that Nam Yen and I are saving, right? That has nothing to do with our rent and our cost of living at home. So at the end of 3 months, we'll have 186,000 baht sitting there. We already have all the equipment, so it'd be easy to do a restart. But we're not going to restart and do the Open Mic PHALA nightclub again at the end of 90 days until we know the business environment, the climate for operating a nightclub is completely normal. Okay, I'm not going to, reopen the business and do SHA plus and stop selling alcohol at 9 o'clock and all that. That's not going to work. Okay, now let's take a hypothetical. Let's say 6 months ago, Thailand allowed Rayong to be a blue zone, and we could operate the way they are, let's say in Pattaya. Yeah, we have to stop alcohol at 9, we have to close at 11, but we would have opened. I think a lot of you guys that follow this channel know that, kept saying that. That's why we're holding on to hope, right? As soon as they allow us to have dine-in alcohol legally, we'll open. We'll have music, maybe not karaoke, because they probably wouldn't allow that, but we'll have music, we'll have cocktails, we'll have dinner specials, right? So if that would have happened hypothetically 6 months ago, right, we've been closed for 11 months. So say we were closed for 5 months and then we got to reopen, we wouldn't be having this conversation. There would be no temporary closure, right? So you have to look at that. Or another hypothetical, if we'd have been a blue zone 3 months ago and had our nightclub back. So it's a culmination of factors that led to our decision to just do the mothball. Now, at the end of the 90 days, if I don't like the business climate in Thailand, in other words, if it's pre-pandemic operations, last call alcohol midnight, stay open till 2 a.m., then boom, I've still got the corporation license. Now, it may not be at this location, but we could do a restart very easy, very low expense. Basically pay first month's rent and 2 months is what they require on a deposit when you lease a property, right? So boom, the accountant files the paperwork to reinstitute the taxes, right? So it's just a 90-day pause. Makes it very easy to reopen. I don't need to sell anything. There's nothing about being financially in danger that played into this decision, because we could have kept the breakfast going if we chose to do that. It's like a burden that we are letting go for 90 days, right? Because again, you guys can completely understand the breakfast restaurant, although amazing, and we have a lot of disappointed customers right now, because I've been telling customers for the last several days that March 31st will be our last day for breakfast, okay? That's the decision. It's made, okay? So We're already starting to move stuff, and we'll gradually move stuff over the next 2 weeks. And then our rent is paid until April 5th. That's when we signed the contract, right back in June 5th, 2020. So we have those 5 days after everything's closed to move the big equipment, the final stuff, right? So that's what we're going to do. And I can't give anybody any guarantees about what will happen after the 90-day pause, because I'm not going to do a nightclub. So I could dissolve the corporation. In Thailand, when you register a corporation, and as a foreigner, you're a shareholder in that corporation, you have to undo that, okay? You can't just, like in America, if you have an LLC and you decide to stop your business, you don't have to file anything, right? It just goes away, right? Here in Thailand, you actually have to file. So there's a minimal amount of cost, and we have a separate agent, separate from our accounting, separate from our regular business license, okay, separate from all that, that only did the registration of the corporation, okay, the tax ID, and my work permit. So we have a separate agent. So we'll have to employ her again to unwind the corporation. And as far as my work permit, I can simply walk into the Ministry of Labor and show them that the corporation has been discontinued and cancel the work permit. It has no effect on my visa status, because I'm on a marriage visa, okay? So we knew there was risk going in, okay? I don't think anybody in their right mind, after all we went through in 2020, right, would have thought that, oh, wait till Songkran 2021 because you're going to be closed for a year. I don't know anybody that would have thought that, okay? That's just the way it worked out. So, you know, I wanted to be very honest with you guys and give you that walkthrough, because this could be valuable information for other people that choose to open a business, be a shareholder, get a work permit, do it completely above board. How much the taxes, how much the account, all that. Oh, I have to pay salary, or I pay taxes on my own salary that I'm not even making. Yes, all of those things are required, right? So it's a lot more monthly business expense to operate a business the way we currently are. So at the end of the 90-day period, if I don't like the environment for reopening the Open Mic PHALA karaoke live music venue, then I might just re-register the corporation under a different name, which is doable, right? And we might have the American Breakfast Cafe by Nam Yen. Who knows, right? We might do something like that. We don't have to make any decision on corporation, folding the corporation or getting rid of my work permit or any of that stuff until the end of the 90-day period. So I hope that pretty much tells everyone where we're at and why we're doing what we're doing. And now I'll try to catch up some more chat and we'll close this out. See if there's any more questions that I may not have addressed already. I think I've addressed a lot of questions. No more breakfast. Yeah, it's very sad. T.Y. James, sad. Yeah, James, it's sad. You know, not just us, man. You guys know there's been a lot of nightclub venues that have went under way before now. I could tell you several right here in our area, right? We were fortunate that we had a restaurant. Well, actually, technically, the first shutdown in mid-December 2020 of our nightclub, we didn't have a restaurant. We scrambled around and opened a restaurant on Christmas Day to keep our staff going. If we hadn't have done that, we would have folded then probably. But anyway, it is sad, but that's the way life is, sometimes. Okay, Greer follows up and says, Triple T, like so many I have been following from overseas, but now I feel I am going to lose part of my family. You and your staff and the dogs have kept so many going through the trying times. Greer, what a great comment. Thank you for that. Well, you're not going to lose us, guys, okay? You're not going to lose us. And Greer, maybe you started following the channel after I changed it to the Open Mic PHALA, but I had the YouTube channel a full year before we started the business, okay? So the YouTube channel will be, once again, Teacher Thomas Thailand, Triple T, at YouTube. Nam Yen and I will still be bringing you all kinds of good stuff from Thailand, beaches and 5-minute reviews, and we'll have a big dinner with Nina and Noi and Nam Yen and myself, right? The Open Mic staff. We'll have a big dinner. I'll bring you that, some video footage from that. And you never know what might happen in 90 days, Greer. You just never know. The Open Mic PHALA could very much restart. We'll just see. I'm just honest with you guys. I'm not going to restart a nightclub business with any restrictions. It's going to have to be like pre-pandemic, green light, alcohol, midnight, open till 2 a.m. Big parties, big barbecues, big crowds, right? You have to be able to do it the right way. That's okay, Tough to You. I just got a message from Tough to You saying something about some comments in the chat. Just ignore. If there's people that get some kind of joy from a post-pandemic startup business having to do what's necessary and mothball for night, if they get joy out of that, then that says a lot about them, right? Yeah, just ignore it, Tough to You. They're not worth mentioning. Okay, Sue Rowan says operational awareness, Tyron. 2 perfect words. Exactly right. What is the mission? What was the mission? The mission was post-pandemic, no travel, can't do anything. The mission was to invest in our community and establish a Western-style customer service nightclub so that my wife could potentially have a steady income with the business. That was the mission, okay? We overcame a lot of obstacles, Tyron, a lot of them, right? But the mission was not to create a breakfast restaurant. That was not the mission, okay? And it's very successful, trust me. There's a lot of sad people in Banchang, Pattaya, all the way to Rayong City that are frequent breakfast customers, okay? They're very sad about it, but they understand. The business was the nightclub, guys. Sue says, Triple T, as we spoke, the most feasible thing to do. That's right. And I have talked to a lot of people prior to this live stream, guys. 61 watching, Jeff says. Wow, that was good. That was a good high point. Tyron, I mothballed my business for 3 years myself. I am just looking at restarting as well. There you go. April 1st, man. April Fool's Day is the day we're going to push pause, guys. Will it be a real pause? Because I've said it's going to happen April 1st, no more business? Wait and see. Is this an April Fool's joke or not? Good one, Ron. Our Happy Go Life says, makes sense. Yeah, thank you for that. Greer says, Tyron, what was your business? Okay. Jeff Johnson says it's a smart decision. Sounds pretty reasonable, doesn't it, Jeff? Look, guys, I mean, I gave you the hypothetical situation retroactively. 6 months ago, if we'd have been blue zone, we'd have still had restrictions, SHA plus, all, but we'd have been selling alcohol till 9 p.m. and playing music till 11 and then closing. We wouldn't be thinking about any of this, right? So there you go. It's not our staff to blame. My wife has worked her ass off, guys, with no salary, okay? You know what I mean? I've worked pretty hard, not as hard as she did. I worked my ass off getting the place open. It took 50 days from start to finish to be ready to open the nightclub. So, like I say, I lost 25, 30 pounds. You guys can go back and look at those old videos, especially the grand opening stuff. Yeah. So, and there's a lot of good memories, But, I mean, she's worked her ass off, guys, and she doesn't get any salary. Yeah, I transfer 40,000 baht a month into, the Open Mic PHALA account and also transfer money to her individual account, but, that's what she pays bills and stuff with, right? So basically, she's working for free. I'm working for free. Not only have I been working for free, I've been paying income tax on 50,000 baht that I'm not getting, right? Because that's what you got to do if you want to comply with law in Thailand. I wish it were true, Tyron, and I know you and I have discussed this, that in Thailand, a foreigner and his Thai wife, or a foreign woman and her Thai husband could open a business together just like 2 Thai people could, right? No need to have, two other additional staff. No need to do all the stuff. But if you have a foreign person working legally, I don't care if you hired them as a manager or what the situation is, depending on your visa, if you have a B visa for business, you need 4 Thai employees to every 1 Farang, okay? I got a break because I'm on a marriage visa, and the rule is 2 Thai employees to every Farang, right? But I wish it were true that my wife and I could just open a business and not have any salary, staff, corporation license, work permit fees, all that stuff. That's not the case, guys. So that's when you see a lot of very low monthly business expense operations that Farang are involved in. They can assist their wife to a degree and everything without having to have a work permit. They can definitely visit with customers and be the host, right? So, but they can't work, and there's a lot of people, unfortunately, that make reports on guys that are just trying to help their Thai wife. Maybe they go back behind the bar and, and clean the counter or something. Somebody takes a photo and makes a report to Ministry of Labor. Guys, I've heard of this kind of stuff, okay? It happens. They don't have to catch you in the act of work. They can use a photo. And once there's a report made by a Thai that there's a Farang working, they come investigate. And you bet your ass if they don't have a work permit, it's a big problem. Okay, I know these stories firsthand. I knew that before I started this business, right? I was not even going to do anything without getting the work permit, which means I have a lot more monthly business expense. Easily curable. If the nightclub opens, like I say, even if you have a lot of slow nights, right? You get 2 good weekends a month. That pays for the expenses, guys. You know what I mean? Our break-even point is like 1,500 baht a day profit. That's like $45 a day profit. Would pay for everything, okay? With the nightclub, it's a no-brainer, okay? The breakfast is the, icing on top, as I said earlier. But the nightclub easily could. But now, if Thailand announced tomorrow, and they're supposed to have another big meeting today, tomorrow Rayong will go Blue Zone, and you can have nightlife to this degree, meaning you can't have karaoke, you can't do XYZ, you have to stop alcohol at 9. I mean, guys, our nightclub, the band starts at 9. How can you reopen? So it wouldn't matter, right? It has to move to the endemic phase. And, if it does that within 3 months, then we'll be in a good position to reopen. Thanks, Jeff. I appreciate it. I think it's smart too. Very flexible. Very flexible. Tyron, at least you and Nam can have time to... Yeah, exactly. Tyron, that's a good point. Like, it's been a burden to my wife and I, only because of all the restrictions, guys. The business is not a burden to my wife and I. We were expecting to work here full-time for 2 or 3 years to get the thing really established, okay? The burden is hanging on to hope that you're going to get your nightclub back, running a breakfast restaurant at a loss, keeping your staff on, right? That's the burden, and it's stressful. That's not normal business operation, right? So you're exactly right, Tyron. That played a factor too. Like I say, it's a culmination of things that led to the decision. Don says, I'm sad for all of you. It's like losing good friends. We'll still be here for you, Don. We'll just have to meet at Phala Beach and have breakfast down there. So, and hopefully we'll come back, Don. So stay tuned on the business. On the business end, it may be a revamp. Like I say, guys, I'm very gun shy about investing in any kind of nightlife business in Thailand, even if we move to endemic, because there's a new variant now. You guys know, right? So the first thing if there's any new wave or new restrictions, it's going to be on alcohol. That's what Thailand does. Okay, so we could reopen a breakfast lunch restaurant and still have beer and cocktails in the afternoon with lunch, right? Run 8 to 5, something like that. And if the alcohol gets shut down, we still got a good business with the food, right? So, flexibility was a good description. And Don, that would be far more likely that we open a breakfast / Subway sandwich, restaurant and forget about the nightclub. More videos, yes, Sue. More videos of Nam Yim and I travel in Thailand. Triple T, glad to hear more videos to come. Yeah. We're not closing the YouTube channel. That'll never happen, Greer. Don't worry about that. There might be others that would like for me to do that. That's never going to happen. We love bringing Thailand to people. Tough to You says, oh, I'm just late. Yeah, I got your message, Tough to You. Bad Badger. Okay, guys, sorry I'm way behind on the chat. Bad Badger says, morning, Triple T and all in the house. Good morning to you, mate. Hope everything is well in Phang Na. Tough to You says, better late than never. That's right. Hi, Tough to You. Okay, Greer Stevens, me too. More to get the voice going. Yeah, we're still going to promote the hell out of area businesses and Rayong and Thailand in general, guys. We'll never stop doing that. Okay. Up to you says you guys have done an amazing job in the worst of times, and this is all you can do. Thank you for that, Up to you. Guys, that comment right there basically says it all. It's no fault of our own, man. We worked our ass off. We've been successful. Our nightclub was successful, guys. It really was. And, we didn't have any anticipation about profits at all until after the first couple of years. That's 2 years of normal operation, right? Nightclub and breakfast, So, yeah, we've overcame a lot of obstacles and did a great job. A lot of successes. And it may not be the end of the story for the Open Mic PHALA nightclub. I'm just being honest and saying I'm not gonna reopen, whether in this location or another location, a karaoke live music bar. That's not gonna happen until there's obvious clarity of no restrictions whatsoever, right? And so stay tuned. Aussie Thai Bangkok, one of the most interesting men you'll ever meet. Thanks for coming in, mates. We will be there for breakfast coming soon. All right, last day for breakfast, March 31st, Aussie Thai Bangkok. Thanks, buddy. I got a steak with your name on it. Top to you says, at Sue Rowan, yes, but sad. I won't be getting breakfast at the open mic, but I'll still for sure see Scott and Nam. Yeah, that's right, Nam. Top to you. And hey, we still have a great kitchen at our home. So if you'd like to order from the open mic menu, that's doable, okay? We're going to be so excited about hosting you guys. So I know it's sad that you can't come hang out at the restaurant here, but we're going to hang out a lot, and I hope to tour around with you and your man and do some nightlife action up at Pattaya, so we'll have fun. Up to you. Don't worry about it. Our happy-go-lucky life says we were thinking the same thing over here at Tough to You. There you go, yep. Oh, we've had so many customers that came in, Had a great friend from Denver, Colorado, just left yesterday, guys. His name's Jim. I'm not going to give his last name, but him and I are friends on Facebook and everything. He got a long history here in Pala. He owns a very nice condo here, but he stays most of the year in Colorado, right? Older gentleman, few years my senior, and great guy, man. And he came in for his last breakfast yesterday. He's flying back to Colorado as we speak, okay? So, of course I gave him the news, and he's like, man, I'm glad you were open for breakfast while I'm here. I'm glad they didn't tell you back in April 21 that you're going to be shut down for a year on your nightclub, because he's like, I'd have never got to come in and meet all the people that he met here, and so it's been a great meeting point, a great thing, but it's not there's those two labs, Sandy and Buddy are here, guys. All right, let me scroll through. You forgot you fought through tough times for sure. Thank you, Bad Badger. Thank you. You're right, brother. Hey, Jeff, everybody, okay. Bad Badger's channel. Thank you, Jeff. Guys, I'm going to go ahead and close it. We got customers coming. Jay East, good morning to you. All right, Jay East, good business decision overall until such time as right. Exactly. You think about the savings that we're gonna have on this 3-month temporary closure, Jay East. Those savings could be used for an instant restart, right? We'll just have to play it by ear. Thanks for all the warm hellos. You're welcome, Jay East. Paul Owen in the house. Thank you. Overslept. Yeah, disappointed to hear. Okay, Paul. No problem, buddy. Whatever. Thanks for coming in, guys. Greer, thank you. I know karaoke not being available, not now. There's not going to be any karaoke bars, I don't think. I don't even think you can do that in a blue zone. Pretty sure. Maybe you could get by with it, but I don't think it'd be legal. There's AZ's link. Thank you, Jeff. I'm still bringing you some signs. Yeah, you bet. Thank you. Yeah, we will decorate the new business with everything that we have here. It's up to you, so I appreciate that. Hey, there he is. How are you, sir? Good. Whatever. Thank you. Subscribe meetups coming soon. Subscriber meetups. Okay, cool. Thanks, Jay East.
Good morning, beautiful.
All right, guys, I'm going to skip down. Don says best wishes for the future. My friends, Thomas, see you at the Legion. Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Don. You're such a great guy and been such a great customer. All right, guys, I'm going to close it out. See if I can give a little bit of a power back on this gimbal for a second. It should have a little bit of life. See what we got. Yeah, I already jacked up all the manual balance settings, so the power's working. But anyway, guys, I appreciate it. I really do. Peace and love to everyone. Stay tuned to the channel. Got some new content coming your way ASAP. Okay, very, very soon. And we will continue to bring Thailand to you. We will pause this. Okay? We'll pause that. April, May, June. On pause. During that period, the channel will go back to Triple T, Teacher Thomas Thailand, okay? Because there are no guarantees that the open mic at Phala will be restarted, okay? All right, guys, thank you so much, man. Thank you very much. We appreciate it. Stay tuned to the channel. Looky there. Stay tuned for Triple D footage. Obviously, this is his home. He does what he pleases. And we, even after we close, we'll be down here just like we go feed Lizzie at Phala Beach, right? We'll be taking care of Dan. You'll be staying up to date with the Triple D story, okay? No problem, guys. No problem. Thank you. Love you all, man. Love you all. Triple T, your humble host. Signing out.